Hi people and hello my Chili Con Carnage crew, it's Chili here from Live Listener Race and I'm bringing you a special episode. In this one we're going to be talking about controversial artists and whether you would still listen to them despite all their sordid histories. Now we did cover this on a previous episode, but due to the support that we had from it, there were lots more options to choose from. So I thought, why not bring in another panel and we can discuss many other artists and would you listen to them? So for this panel, I would like to introduce, of course, Hector from the Chill Dude on the Couch. Good to have you on the channel again, Hector.
Great to be back, man.
Yeah, it's always good to seeing you here. I've got, of course, JC from JC Rock and Metal Reviews over there. How are you today, JC?
I'm doing good, thanks.
That's good to hear. And over in the corner here, we've got some video issues. Sorry, but we've got Robert over here as well.
And Trolling in Paradise.
Trolling in Paradise. What a proud name for a channel as well. Great name, I gotta say. It is always amazing to see you. It's great to have you on this episode for the first time as well, by the way, Robert.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry to be on here.
I've got to give a shout out as well to Robert because he helped compile a lot of this list. It's been a bit of conversations that I've been having with Robert that's really inspired this long list of artists that we're going to be talking about. So, yes, thank you very much, Robert, and of course,
The big one we got is Kid Rock for sure.
we have to cover Kid Rock. So, as you can tell by the thumbnail, that undoubtedly you chose to click on because you know we're going to be covering some of this weird stuff. So, without further ado, we're going to be covering these musicians. We're going to talk about the musician themselves, their notable works. Then we're going to mention their controversies, and then after we discuss, we're going to say whether or not we would listen to them. So, let's get into this first act here. And we have Chris Taylor Brown, who is the lead vocalist from Trapped. His notable works, well, it's none because it's Trapped. You know, there's no notable works that I can really think of. Headstrong? Nah, maybe. But other than that, there is nothing there is nothing notable about Trapped. Now, the controversies, there is a fair few. There is a long list, I swear. This whole first page, is just dedicated to him. And of course, here we go. We're going to list off a few here, but he has been a complete dickwads on social media in bizarre rants. And there's a few pictures I sent across to the panel here, and there's a fair bit. I might even flick it on the screen as well here. He's a headstrong douchebag. It's just who he is. It's part of his. I'd almost say it's part of his persona, you know. And he's got this weird hard-on for Trump. What do you guys consider in regards to his weird rants that he's been doing on social media over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think like it's funny. Like a few years ago, he tried to fight with Ice-T, and I'm like, wow, he doesn't know who he's picking a fight with. Like
Ooh.
Ice-T, really, and it didn't go well for him. You know, Ice-T, come on, the dude's going to destroy you. It's funny because we covered their last album on Is It That Bad? And I got a YouTube thing. I got like a post for a short from the singer saying like they were erasing their stuff, and I posted the Is It That Bad? But it got erased.
He erased the
But
own comment. It's like, oh, bugger you.
I wanted to have a fight with him.
Something does make that. You do want to
I
have a
wanted
fight
to
with this
be a
guy.
footnote, remember when Robert whatever his name fought with the Shield on a couch? I wanted that, but he didn't took the bait.
He didn't take the bait there, nah.
No.
What about you, JC? What do you think about his weird rants, I guess, on social media?
I think like people need to understand that like when you're online, like everyone can read it. Like it's not you're not saying this to someone who's like in the room with you and like only them here. I mean, this is like the entire world can like read it, and it just makes you look a lot worse when you're going on these rants and just like doing this behavior online when everyone can read it. It's like you're doing it in front of everyone. It's different when you're speaking one on one and maybe you're having an argument with somebody, but it just really makes you look bad.
Yeah.
So I think like some people just don't really know like how the internet works, and that's the first problem, man.
Although that's definitely something that he needs to address on his behalf. Someone
Yeah.
give him like a HR team or PR team or something. Like he needs it. Rob, what are your
I don't
thoughts
think
in
he can
regards to that?
afford it.
Oh God, no, no, he doesn't. And according to him, he doesn't need it anyway. Fuck him, you know. Like, Rob, what are your thoughts in regards to his weird little rants?
Well, it's really bad because I mean, if you're gonna be doing that stuff, good chance you're gonna get screwed over and possibly get your platform deleted, which is exactly what happened with Chris Taylor Brown late 2020, which he absolutely deserved that, man. I mean,
yeah.
especially his band lost all their social medias that year.
Yeah, which we
And-
discuss a bit further on in the notes there. Yeah.
And also, yeah, and also that dude being a Trump supporter, that is just oh my god, that's a yikes! Especially now with the election coming up in a few months
Oh
down in the
yeah,
US.
that's a big.
Oh my god.
That's a minefield that I'm like, I'm so glad to be an Australian right now.
I live in Canada, so I'm all good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We don't have. Well, maybe there's a few ex-Americans here, but none of us are in America right
Well,
now.
then,
Are we?
yeah, nobody's in America right now.
Oh,
Well,
thankful
but-
for that.
I'm in Puerto Rico and we're a colony of the
colony.
States. So whatever happens with them, it kind of fucks us over too.
Okay. Coming from a colony myself, and obviously Robert's Canadian, he is also a colony. I can relate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, Trump came to Puerto Rico after we had Hurricane Maria in 2017, and he started throwing like bounty paper to people like, you have no water and electricity, here's a bounty.
I thought you were talking about the chocolate bounty, and I'm like, oh god, I could only think of anything worse. Like,
No, it was it was very, yeah, like it was something else, man.
very odd. I guess the other controversies we're going on here is in March 2020. This is like a timeline. I can't believe I wrote this much, but in March 2020, he began a week-long Twitter beef with a bishop, Talbot W. Swan II. He accused the bishop of having a victim mentality. Very ironic for the singer. Now, the comments went on to defend the Unite the Right rally, and the members of the rally were, of course, words I cannot say, otherwise I'll get demonetized. But you can say they were not very nice people in not very nice groups, clans, if you will. They went on other rants as well in regards to COVID, challenging the existence of white privilege, fat shaming women as well in his other rants.
Yikes!
Yeah. It's, how do you get... Where's the 6 degrees of separation amongst this stuff, you know? Like, you've gone from COVID to white privilege to fat shaming people. Anyway, but yeah, you know, beyond this, they threatened the Trapped. There was also a Trapped parody account that was created around about this time, and
Remember?
yeah, the Trapped parody account was hit with a lawsuit by the band Trapped, and of course the parody account had to cite free speech because after that nothing can happen. It's one of those bizarre moments. Like if you're a parody account, how do you? Where's the? I don't know. It's like a gray area,
Yeah,
isn't it?
out the parody account.
Yeah. Don't go after the parody account. It brings more fans to them. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's just beyond funny that he tried to sue a parody account when they are a parody unto themselves almost. It's like Stranger Than Fiction kind of works, if you will. And I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. Like, JC, what do you think in regards to the whole Trapped trying to sue Trapped parody?
And another thing he doesn't understand is the concept of there's no such thing as bad publicity. If this is a parody account, they're basically promoting his band for free, and if he tries to take it down, it's not going to really work in his favor. He should have just left it alone. I mean, it's a parody account. He's basically, helping out the band, even if they do make fun of it. When you talk negative about bands, it doesn't hurt them. It's free publicity. So all that
That's
stuff,
right.
you can say anything, all the negative stuff about talking about Nickelback or Limp Bizkit or anything. I mean, these are the biggest bands. Like, these bands have sold so many albums. I mean, and even like Metallica, people love to talk negative about that. they're the biggest bands out there. So
That's very
if
true.
it's the parody, you'll just leave them alone. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, that's very true, actually, yeah. The more negativity it brings to a band, it's like the bigger they become.
Yeah,
Metallica and Limp Bizkit, I can definitely think of having a massive negative backlash, but
yeah,
two of the biggest acts amongst their fields. So,
yeah.
yeah, very true that. Yeah. Rob, what do you reckon in regards to the lawsuit? Do you think that there's a funny little moment of irony there as well?
Well, one thing to know that parody account happened right around the time that everything got shut down, and then of course that backfired real bad, and then of course that's when Chris started doing all these really nasty comments that led to him losing his account that December. And yeah, obviously Trapped are the kings of bad lyrics with worse deliveries, the lords of soft ego Twitter battles.
Yeah,
I learned that from Mount Trenches. He did a cringe meter thing a couple years ago.
Did he quote himself saying that he will not apologize for being better than everyone else?
Yes.
No, he did the quote with, back off, I'll take you on. Headstrong, I'll take on anyone. Yeah. Which is from the song Headstrong.
Oh my gosh. That's just amazing there.
His beef with metal sucks. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. It's just beyond everything I can imagine. It's funny because, like, in May 2020, people signed a petition to remove Trapped and their music from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. They weren't actually included in the original soundtrack or part of the new soundtrack. So I think that's just...
It's just hilarious.
That's just the internet banding for a good reason, you know?
The YouTube short that I saw, it was him saying that the promoters don't want them to tour or YouTube is not like promoting their stuff, and that's where I put our "Isn't That Bad?"
Yeah.
thing.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like this should be the inspiration of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Of course, it gets a bit dark in May of 2020 because Chris obviously used the Trapped account to blame George Floyd for his death. Now, obviously, that is a whole area that I don't want to go on too much, but, you know, further on down the path, Consequence of Sound would release an article saying that a live show the band performed drew a very small crowd. Chris then went on to attack anyone who commented on the article and the article itself. So, you know, it's a very soft underbelly of Chris right there showing, especially when you're probably not drawing the crowds that you... Did they ever draw big crowds, actually? I don't know. That's an open-ended question.
I think the reason for the small crowd was COVID.
Yeah, that's... Okay, yeah, that's actually quite true. I didn't think about that at the time.
Yeah, but like maybe if they should try to do like a Godsmack and do like a South America.
Do a tour in South America. See if it gets cancelled.
Promoter to be like Trap who?
Yeah.
Like, who?
Who's Trapped?
Like, you play trap music? No, Trapped.
Timmy's trapped down a well? No. Trapped, headstrong. You know, like.
Yeah.
In October 2020, the band, I should use air quotations around band, announced their support for the Proud Boys. Again, another dark chapter for Trapped itself. And of course, in November of that year, Trapped's Facebook account was finally deleted after Chris used it to state that he would high-five a 15-year-old who got with his 25-year-old teacher. I'll let you fill in the blanks in regards to that. Because, yeah, that's morally ambiguous stuff. You know, all of the above, I guess you could say. You could kind of let some of that shit slide. But, you know, when you're kind of going into what he just said there, that's like...
Especially the Floyd stuff. Like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, you're a band. It's like, yeah, I understand bands can be political, but Trap's not a politically motivated band. And I've always tried to be like, if you're a political band, yeah, you can make political statements. If you're a band that doesn't do political music, try to steer clear of that shit.
And he's trying to be all hard and stuff, and then you listen to his new album, and he's like, when I think of you, I don't think about myself. I'm like, oh my God.
Thanks for that stir-in rendition there. I managed to
Boy, you
erase
know,
that from my
because
mind.
because we had to cover that album for Is It That Bad,
Mm.
Spotify is still recommending them. They're
Oh.
like, it's one of your favorite artists. I'm like, no, Spotify. I'm like, I should have used YouTube to listen to the album.
Should have signed in under a different account. Now my Spotify's warped. Ah. Oh my god. Look, I could go on with this. I'll just briefly say that they were apparently fired. Sorry, Chris was apparently fired from the band after years of doing dumb shit. Then he threatened to sue the band, and I quote him here: "I will not apologize for being better than everyone else." I think Rob, you mentioned that was the Headstrong lyric, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the Headstrong lyric, and of course he's twisting it in his own weird way. The band never split up, unfortunately, but his beef with metal sucks also continues to this day. And his music is generically inoffensive to anyone who cares to listen to it. Now, who would listen to Trapped after all of what we've discussed?
I'm definitely not listening to that new album. Screw that! I don't want to lose any more of my sanity than I have to.
Rob speaks the volume of truth right there.
I just listened to it for Is It That Bad purposes. But I haven't listened to that album after that episode.
No, not at all. JC, what about you? Were you going to listen to him?
Yeah, I mean, despite all this, like I never really liked them to begin with. So, I mean, I only knew the one song, the Headstrong, and I listened to the album because we did the Is It That Bad episode, and I listened to it once, and I think like YouTube like threw a couple of songs into a playlist afterwards, but you know, after that, like I don't really want to listen to them like to begin with. So, like I was never into the band. So that's yeah.
You're not losing
I'm
something
very
if you never had it to begin with.
You know.
No, I'd agree with you. I think the only song that I knew from them was obviously Headstrong, which I don't know about you guys, but was on an MTV Headbangers Ball disc back in the day, and that's the only reason that I know this band. But if it was completely erased from existence, including that song, I'm not going to mourn their erasure from the world. I don't care to listen to this band, and even if they didn't have these controversies that were standing, their music is so dumb and generic that it would just be beyond me.
And would you imagine you never listen to them? And let's say, Chile, you're on a road trip in America and you stop at a local Cracker Barrel to eat. And all of a sudden you see, and there's Trap playing in the Cracker Barrel.
What's a Cracker Barrel? Am I missing something?
It's a awful place that you should never eat food at. Like, I remember I'm from in Puerto Rico and living over there. Some Puerto Rican people told me, "Oh, we should eat a Cracker Barrel." I'm like, no. If I eat that, I will cease to be Puerto Rican. Like, no.
It sounds like
Like,
somewhere where you go
I
to get
refuse.
cheese.
After the Google Cracker Barrel, man.
It does sound very sad.
Yes.
The next person that we're going to be talking about is going to be Scott Kelly, who is the singer for very numerous bands here, but mainly for Neurosis, Tribes of Neurit, Blood and Time, Shrine Builder, Corrections of House, Mirrors of Psychedelic Warfare, and many, 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 many more. Obviously, Neurosis was the biggest name amongst that mix there. His notable works with Neurosis was Souls at Zero in 1992, through Silver and Blood in 1996 there, A Sun That Never Sets in 2001, and The Eye of Every Storm, celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, which was released, of course, 2004. Now, of course, he's also, actually I forgot to mention there, but he's been on various Mastodon contributions, such as Aqua Dementia, Crystal Skull, Crack the Sky.
That's how I know it from.
I've been always listening to his lyrics. Mastodon, and I'm like, man, who's this guy? Because the rest of the band, they all sound pretty similar, but when he comes onto the tracks, you're like, oh shit, there's someone different. But yeah, he's been on Aqua Dementia, Crystal Skull, Crack the Sky, Spectre Light, Diamond in the Witch, Scorpion Breath, and Fallen Torches, which is from, I think it was a B-sides or a demo, Rarity EP release.
Yeah.
Yeah. His controversies, and this is where it gets a bit hard to talk about, but it's physical abuse to his wife and kids over the many years. So, you know, it's a bit hard to find info on this. I tried to Google search and, you know, do everything I could, but the band has kept a very tight wrap on this saga, because this had happened a couple of years ago, and it kind of just like slipped through the cracks of the music news world. Like, it happened, they made an announcement, and it was all forgotten, and they've been on hiatus ever since. Sorry, there's a word I can't say, but yeah, they made a public statement, the band did, in 2022, that he was fired from the band. And he, Scott himself retired from music in 2019. And of course, this was due to the court case from this time that was going on. And he did blame mental health issues from years prior. But is it really an excuse, though, for what his wife and his kids went through? It's a very dark situation. Let's discuss this. Robert, let's go with you first.
Well, actually, I listened to Times of Grace, the Neurosis album, in May of this year, because that one has 25th anniversary, crazy stuff. And then, of course, a few days after that, we lost the producer who did that album, Steve Albini.
Yeah,
that was a huge bummer. And I'll still listen to some Mastodon stuff. In fact, Leviathan has its 20th anniversary at the end of August.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to spinning that album.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a good one to spin again.
Yeah, it's too bad there isn't really a lot of evidence in regards to the whole domestic stuff that went down with Scott and everything, and then which was announced in August of 2022, and then of course in January 2023 I watched a Thralls of Metal retro review. They did the Shrine Builder self-titled album, and then of course Shrine Builder, they had to delay some shows in a bunch of shows in Europe because of that volcano in Iceland that blew up in 2010. And then of course they ended up having to reschedule it in 2011 as a result of that volcano. And then of course the Shrine Builder disbanded, and of course now with Scott having retired now, that means there is no chance of a Shrine Builder reunion.
Not at all. Not at all. Would you still listen to his music and his various bands?
Yeah, I'll still listen to. I actually listened to the song "Crack the Sky" a while ago. The song from Mastodon, because I do love Mastodon. That one's really dark though, because it's about their drummer's sister taking her own life. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think that whole album kind of centers around that theme as well.
And of course, it's based on an air sign. The last album themed after an air sign too, with air. Yeah. And that's how I first got into Mastodon, with the song "Oblivion," which I love that song.
It's a
Oblivion.
great track.
That's really good.
Yeah. It's a great track. It's amazing. But yeah, JC, what about your thoughts in regards to this? Would you still listen to him as well, considering?
I'm looking at it, and it kind of seems like a gray area, because it says there's not a lot of info, but then it also says he blamed his mental health from years prior. So that implies that he's admitting to it. So, in that case, maybe he did do it, but the whole thing with domestic violence, it's always hard to prove. And I said this in the first video, when it's usually like the man, it's easier to blame the man. But besides that, I'll be honest with you, I was never really a big fan of Neurosis. I think I might have listened to him a couple of times. I'm a bigger fan of Mastodon, where I really like all their albums, but if he did some contributions, I don't think that's going to make me want to stop listening to Mastodon.
Nah.
But I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, but I don't really think I would stop listening to Neurosis, or if I would ever start. But
yeah, would it stop you? I guess.
Gray area.
Yeah, would it stop you listening to the band? I guess. I meant to start listening to them.
I mean, the thing with the domestic violence, it's different because
Mm-hmm.
if we take something like the P Diddy, that I mean, there was videos of him doing what he's doing,
Oh
and
Yeah,
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 there's no
that's
yeah.
denying that. There's
No.
yeah. I mean, if it's something like there's no denying, that's a different story. I mean, this is they say it's hard to find info.
Mm.
There's really no evidence, no video, and like I said, we've seen it with Johnny Depp, and I'm sure there have been many others that
Yeah.
people are quick to blame if it's a man.
True. True.
So for that reason, I would say no. If there was like a video, like a P Diddy video, then that would it would be a different story for me. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting to know. Yep. Hector, what about you?
So I've actually I listened to him more with those Mastodon tracks. I wonder, like, if he didn't retire from music, would Mastodon still include him in future
Mm.
songs? That would be interesting.
Yeah, that's
But I'm not
intriguing.
going to stop. I'm not going to stop listening to those songs just because like JC, there's not many info, so I don't know if it's true or not, or like so. I wouldn't sit down with him to have a cup of tea.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not gonna hang with him, but I've never actually listened a lot to the Roses. A lot of people like the Roses. I actually never paid that much attention to them, but I do know him from his collaborations with Mastodon because they do use him a lot. Because I think they said that they're
Very
huge
influenced.
Roses fans, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, like if would I check the Roses out like for something? Yeah, I would listen to it. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. That's yeah, very true to that. Look, I've listened to a bit of Neurosis, not a whole bunch, but the Mastodon contributions were a little bit surprising. I always knew that there was an artist there, but I didn't really look into it too much. So when I was reading up about his contributions, I'm like, holy crap, he's been on this many songs. It's not like one or two tracks here or there. It's like freaking every album since. And I will never stop listening to Mastodon. It's such a great band. They're amazing. That being said, as well with Neurosis, I love their stuff. I do. I thought Through the Silver and Blood is a really great album. And for anyone who isn't aware of the music, they are sludge metal. That's the only thing I can describe them as. But they're very focused on the sludge part to the point of like it's 6+ minute tracks that's slow tempoed with their riffage. Trying to think of what's that band like ISIS or ISIS or forget the name of them, but that atmospheric kind of thing, or not so much sun. But if you're intrigued by sludge metal and its earlier roots, I would recommend Through Silver and the Blood. And I guess like JC said, it's a bit ambiguous. There's not much info that is relating to this, and there's no P Diddy kind of video smoking barrel. So it's a bit hard not to. It's a bit ambiguous, I guess. I would still listen to Neurosis. I think they're a great band. So that's what I think anyway in regards to this one. The next one we're going to be mentioning is Ivan Mooney, everyone's favourite vocalist from everyone's favourite band, Five Finger Death Punch. His his notable works are The Way of the Fist, 2007, American Capitalist in
That
2011.
did not age well, that title.
Yeah, didn't I see that on a random website? No further comments required. American Capitalist in 2011 and Justice for None. Where did I see this title coming from? And Justice for None? No. Anyway, controversies. This is, again, another dark and ambiguous person, but arrested by Australian Federal Police in 2014 in Sydney for drunkenly assaulting a female Qantas flight attendant. Always a good start. Arrested in Las Vegas 2015 with domestic battery by strangulation against his wife of 17 years. Apparently, the above found him and his wife... apparently the police mentioned that in the above thing I just mentioned here, they found him and his wife in a jiu-jitsu move while punching his significant other. Great person. Also shouted that I will kill you while trying to force choke them out and stuff like this. Apparently this argument started over a comic book he purchased according to the police.
My God.
It
If
better
this
Oh
is
my
in Redneck
God!
heaven,
a comic book. Jeez, what was it? Spider-Man issue 1? What the fuck did it? Like, it better have been a really good comic book. How
it
17
was Howard the
years?
Duck.
Yeah, it was the Coed Cambria one. Yeah, the Armory Wars or something.
Howard the Duck is canon. God damn you.
Like, how do you argue with your wife? Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. The case was dismissed, however, but a few months after he was dismissed from. A few months after this happened, Moody's sister and his mother filed for restraining orders against him, citing
That's
that he
never
has,
a good thing when your mama and your sister
yeah,
don't wanna-
your own family don't want anything to do with you. Here's a restraining order. Stay the hell away from me. Great person, upstanding citizen. Citing that he has a history of violence against women. And considering what I've just read off earlier, is it really hard to believe? Anyway, also, fellow band members showed disdain for the video clip on Living the Dream, where the video had superheroes racking up drugs and smashing fast food while doing Tide Pod eating competitions, the toilet paper stockpiling in the background, and some woman with an exempt badge handing out compliance stickers with communist symbols of hammer and sickles underneath them to people wearing masks. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure he is just celebrating not being in a communist country where people who try to murder their wives would be sent to a gulag. Let's discuss this one, Hector. Would you listen to Ivan Moody ever?
I remember buying The Way of the Fist, but after that, I just thought I called them like Five Fruity Fruit Punch, and maybe the argument wasn't a comic book. Maybe the argument started because his wife told him, "You know what? You're in Five Fruity Death Punch. You suck." like like you are like it's such a like a bland band. And I
Yeah.
don't know. Ivan Moody is like a lot of people shit on Fred Durst, but first Fred Durst hasn't done any of this stuff, you know? Like
No.
he's like he's like he's like a
A saint.
he's like a like a Fred Durst like on steroids and doing the actual stuff that Fred Durst doesn't do that shit, and that's why he's likable.
Oh yeah.
But you have that guy, and yeah, like it's like he does have a pattern of abuse. Like it's pretty well documented. And the guy's like, just look at him. He looks like a complete douchebag.
Yeah, he's got the
And
douchebag look to him, doesn't he?
he's got that douchebag.
He's got a
look,
face that a mother would have a restraining order against.
you are bad when your mother has a restraining order on you. Like you can't be good. And yeah, musically, I've always thought they're terrible. And Justice for None, I'm like, oh my God, why do bands do this? The only way I would listen to them is if I have to do an Is It That Bad episode. We haven't covered them in Is It That Bad. So I'm
Oh.
guessing like we should pick an album and probably cover them. Or
Comment
maybe when
below which one you want.
I don't know. Maybe
There's too many to
maybe we
choose.
should do Injustice for None.
I would go with Wrong Side of Heaven Volume 2.
There's a second volume? Oh.
Yeah, there's two parts
Yeah,
of it. Both of them
two
came out in 2013.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
do.
God.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
just sounds horrible.
Or maybe we could do the
Yeah,
both
the
parts.
Mama Said Knock You Out cover sucks. The Tech
Wait, what?
9, the Mama Said Knock You Out cover sucks.
Oh,
You know that
jeez.
cover originally done by LL Cool J? That Tech 9?
Oh man, I am
Yeah.
down for this. I haven't listened to the album, and I'm wow.
You heard it here. We're gonna do an Easy That Bad on those two albums.
A two-parter.
Yeah, a two-parter. Sometime in the future, coming soon. But maybe you might like maybe he dedicated Mama Said Knock You Out, and he wanted to knock out his own mama. Like
Yeah.
it's like, she's
Oh.
like, "Mama, gonna throw you from the train." Yeah, no.
Why am I laughing
Yeah.
at this? It's so bad.
And even without the controversies, I still think Five Finger Death Punch is one of the worst bands ever. And you, Marilyn Manson, even though he has controversies, like it, I think it's oh my God, that has to be the worst. Marilyn Manson is opening a tour for Five Finger Death
Oh
Punch.
yeah,
I'm
fuck. I didn't think
Like,
about
And
the
also, Sarge
controversies.
Prevail's on the bill too.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm
I
skipping
wonder
their tour
what they're
next month at Rolls to Vancouver.
what do you think they're calling that tour?
Not sure what it's called, but I know Five Finger Death Punch is headlining. On first will be Sarge Prevail. They have an emo band after Sarge Prevail. I forgot the name though, and they're on before Marilyn Manson, which I saw Manson open for Rob Zombie. He was bad.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. But
Also-
yeah, Five Finger Death Punch. Yeah, I think they're terrible. And yeah, I just remember buying the first album, and I think I enjoyed the first album when it came out, but after that, not so much.
No, fair. Yeah. JC, what about you?
Yeah, actually, a lot of this I didn't know about. I'm just learning it right now. The pretty much everything that Hector said is pretty bad when your mother and sister have a restraining order against you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like this band anymore. I think like the first two albums are not that bad. Like The Way to Fist and the second one, War's the Answer. Like, but everything after that is just really like they kind of get like progressively worse. I think like their worst albums are like the last ones, like And Justice for None and F8 Afterlife. Those are like the worst ones.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not really into this band, and I think like after like seeing all of this, I think like this guy he has something wrong with him, and so I probably wouldn't listen to him again.
Yeah, fair enough.
Come on, Ivan.
Yeah.
Mama's good people.
Rob, what about you? What are your thoughts on Mr. Moody?
Well, I actually have quite a few of their albums because mistakes were made. I didn't buy Afterlife because I avoided buying that album like the plague after hearing that awful Welcome to the Circus single.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Circus. Yeah. And then you got, and it's really fucked up when your mom and your sister have a restraining order against you.
Mm.
And I saw Five Finger Death Punch the year after that whole domestic battery incident, and the band was in some pretty dark times on that point, and that was their last visit to British Columbia until this year, and I guess you can see why. And since then, they've had a couple of lineup changes, having Jeremy Spencer left, and now Jason Hook is out of the band. And they got Andy James on guitar now, which I've heard Andy James is a really good guitarist. He's done a bunch of different projects. But Jason, he went on to form another shitty band, Flat Black, just recently, a while back. Yeah.
Okay. Flat.
And thankfully I didn't purchase Afterlife when it came out. So yeah, I missed nothing. Although I did see that cringe meter tier list that Mel Trenches did on the track listing for that album,
Yeah.
which had 3 songs on it, cringe, the top with Roll Them Bones, Judgment Day, and Gold Gutter, which Gold Gutter has the shit. You know what fucking time it is. At the beginning, yeah.
Of course, you got the greatest intro ever made, then, don't you?
And Ivan's got a handprint on his face, which I believe, think it's a tattoo he's got or something.
Maybe he's got a
He
fair
looks
few tattoos.
scary, the tattoos on his head and face.
What has he got? Like something on his face like this?
A red handprint. It's on the side, right by his cheek, right near around his eye.
Okay.
Their logo. Yeah.
I haven't got a photo. Maybe I'll put it up there. But
He should get another tattoo that says "Mama's boy."
Heart,
Yeah,
Mum.
really?
Mom, forgive me. I'm sorry I pushed you.
Just cover the Genesis song "Mama Said" or whatever it was. Yeah.
After this, I think everyone here should call their mothers.
Yes, call your mothers. Make sure you don't get any kind of freaking.
Tell her, please, don't put a restraining order on me, Mama.
Unless you're Ivan Moody, call your mothers. All right. So.
Yes. Unless you're Ivan Moody.
Unless you're Ivan Moody. Look, to me, I just never got into Five Finger Death Punch. I always consider them like a generic gym music pump up type of thing, which kind of explains the steroid level rage found on here by Ivan. So I never listened to them to begin with, and I have no reason to listen to them because definitely Ivan is not making a great case. So yeah, I don't care about this band, and I don't have any reason to listen to them unless someone puts out the notification saying, do you want to listen to them for Is It That Bad? Then I'll be forced to, and I'll break that oath. So, but until then, I am not listening to their music. The next one we got...
Is it that bad?
Until Is It That Bad? Yeah. Can I put in an AVO against music? It's a thought. Ronnie Radke's the next musician that we're going to be talking about from Falling in Reverse.
Side note on that before we start that, the new album next month, and we're going to be doing an Is It That Bad on the new Falling in Reverse album, by the way.
Oh, yes, that's right. He does have a new album coming out shortly.
We're doing an Is It That Bad for that.
It got delayed as well, didn't it? It meant to come out.
Yeah, because of production issues.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't production issues. He was finishing his full sleep.
The guys. Are we sure that we're not just looking at a full?
You know, you're effed in the head when you put your he had some cool tattoos, but he put everything like black. I'm like, why do you do that?
He looks like the fucking Lizard Man or something. You Google the most tattooed man ever, and it's like Ronnie Rad looks like the most tattooed man ever. It just looks like shit. Like,
yes, it looks terrible.
What terrible decisions can I make?
He looks like he was in prison.
Side note, that
Joey
might come up
looks
later.
that way too. He's one of the guests on that new album from Falling in Reverse.
Who's that?
Joey Roll, the country rap artist who was in that.
And he's also been in jail.
Reoccurring themes. We love that in all our episodes. Ooh. So, notable works. Here we go. Dying is your latest fashion with Escape the Fate. Escape the Band. Yeah, 2006. This is going, of course, with Falling in Reverse. The Drug in Me Is You, 2011. Just Like You in 2015. And Coming Home, 2017. Controversies, here we go now. Am I going to pronounce this right? Sorry. The Decatur Boulevard murder involvement. So this is an intriguing one, but Rad was supposed to fight someone in 2006 in a bare-knuckle fight. They each brought a crew to this fight, as one does, and one of Rad's crew shot and killed another member of the other crew. It was deemed a self-defense, so no charges to his friend. However, Rad was charged with battery and substantial bodily harm due to having some brass knuckles, which were illegal in Nevada. I should mention also, again, with Nevada.
Are they legal?
Yeah, no. This is again another arrest of another. Ivan Moody was Ivan Moody. Yeah, Ivan Moody was arrested in Nevada too, which comes up as a note here because he was arrested in Nevada with brass knuckles. And he gets a 5-year probation sentence and a $92,000 fine. For reference, the crime that was carried out with more retribution with Ivan, he held a $15,000 bond and had all charges dropped despite the attempted murder charge. So, fuck you, Ivan, and fuck you, Nevada, for some weak laws. That's just ridiculous. However, back to Ronnie Radke here, and he violated his probation and was sent to 2.5 years in prison, which of course saw him being fired from Escape the Fate. Now we go forward to 2012 and was charged with domestic battery against his then girlfriend Sally Watts and pleaded no charge. In 2012 his band and all hard rock metal bands were banned from future events. Sorry, I've missed the note for this, but it was at a performance
It was a theme park, Six
Yeah.
Flags in New Jersey.
That's it.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for that. I didn't write that there. Sorry. But yeah, he was performing. The band was performing at Six Flags, like Robert just mentioned, where he threw 3 microphones into a crowd and hurt 2 people. One of them was a 16-year-old who required hospitalization. I kind of say that this was unintentional. I mean, he mentioned something about it being unintentional, but it's very stupid. You know what? You're throwing a microphone. That's heavy. Like, how the fuck?
What's
do you...
gonna happen?
Yeah, what's the
if-
worst that can happen, right? Fucking
Yeah.
idiot. In 2013, he was engaged with model Chrissy Henderson, but the couple split due to Rad cheating on her. Around this time, God, I can't pronounce his name. Ronnie denounced religion due to its treatment on the LGBT people, stating that it was hypocritical to hate some people, then accept them later on. And I kind of agree with him here, you know, and that's a bit of a weird one. But anyway, it's fine to agree with certain views and disagree with others. That's just being human. In 2015, Rad was and his boyfriend and his bodyguard faced allegations of a nature towards a woman. You can imagine what those allegations are. No charges were made, as no evidence was found to the sort, and now even defamation is being considered because it looks like the story may have been fabricated. I can probably give you a link below to that story because it is a very weird and wonderful one. Now, Robert, tell me your thoughts in regards to Ronnie. Would you still listen to his music?
Well, pretty much I'm going to be forced to listen to Popular Monster to get prepped for that Is It That Bad next month. And since I already enlisted myself for that collab, and I already heard one of the singles with Jelly Roll, All My Life is the name of the song. And I mean, Jelly Roll, he's decent, but he could not save that one. And yeah, thank God brass knuckles are illegal in where I reside in British Columbia. And so yeah, I gotta go what you said there. Fuck you, Nevada, for weak laws. And then of course, but yeah, that song "Game Over" sucks. That stupid lyrics like "My life is like a video game, trying so hard to beat the stage." Oh my god, it's so cringe.
Oh man, that's true. That. Would you listen to him still? Like his previous works?
Well, I mean, Escape the Fates, never listened to them at all. Never been a fan of that band, Escape the Fates. I know they were around when I was in elementary through middle school. Yeah.
No, fair enough then. That's it, man.
He was escaping the lunch.
Escaping something. The band's escaping him, that's for fucking sure.
Well, Radke deserved to be fired from that group Escape the Fate because of his crimes. Yeah.
That's right, he got fired from the band.
And he's shown zero remorse for any of them. Is that true?
I don't know, but
Pretty sure he's shown no remorse. Yeah?
I probably agree with you. I think he seems like the person who... Yeah, actually, you're right. Because I remember I was reading about it, and the guy is kind of... He's got that mentality. He's got this mentality about him that's like, fuck, the world is against me.
Yeah.
And I think he's also got a
his
biography.
his way of being is like when keeping it real.
Yeah, it's like I'm part of the street, but you know, like this, I'm tattooing myself to look like the street, even. So you know, like it's a bit hard. He's even got the white dots that'll probably go up along the center of his body.
And for the denouncing religion bit, if anyone's going to be denouncing anything in regards to what it has toward the LGBT community, it's gotta be in regards to the Westboro Baptist Church.
Fuck those guys.
They are the worst. Yeah.
Yeah. They are fucking terrible people.
You know you made it when they boycott your concert.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, you know what I'm reminded of though when I'm looking at the notes here and the Six Flags banned all future rock and metal acts. It's like it reminds me of that How I Met Your Mother episode where did you ever get a sign made because of something you did? And this is that moment, you know.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. JC, what are your thoughts? Would you listen to the band? Do you still like them? Do you like them?
No, I never listened to them. I listened to the first album because we did it on Is It That Bad? And I remember after listening to that, like a lot of the songs like appeared in a playlist and I maybe listened to them afterwards. They were kind of catchy, to be honest with you.
They
But
were.
as far as like this new album, I'm not interested in it. I mean, I'll do it for the episode. Is it that bad?
Hmm.
The like the first single, I didn't like the first single at all. Like the one where he's rapping. The country one with Jelly Roll was like okay, but no, I'm not really interested in this. But I think this guy is similar to the guy from Trapped. Is that he just like doesn't know, doesn't realize like the consequences of like what he does when he does like these things online and stuff. So
Hmm.
it's
But there's a
yeah,
difference.
I'm not interested in this band other than the Is It That Bad episodes.
Yeah. More
The
fair.
difference between Ronnie Radke and the guy from Trap is that Falling in Reverse is fucking popular. Like they're
Yeah.
popular, their fans are
Yeah.
if you say something about him, his fans, and even though he's a douchebag, because I've seen videos of him, he's got like a certain charm to him. I don't know what.
Yeah.
He's like a charming douchebag. Like he has something. And like
Yeah,
that first,
that like Jeffrey Dahmer kind of charm that.
Oh shit.
yeah, that like
That's a great charm to have.
he lures you in and then he kicks your ass or something. But yeah, I remember the first album. I had there was a song on that first album like "Why Do Good Girls Like Bad Guys?" And oh my God, I
Yeah.
had that song stuck in my brain. I remember the Green Man told me like, "Hector, are you a bad guy?" I'm like no, like, but yeah, I will listen for the new one to review it. I thought that a lot of, I remember I did a short for that Last Resort Reimagined song that he did, which I thought it sucked because I'm like it took all the fun from that song. You haven't seen that?
No.
He did a cover for Last Resort for Papa Roach, but it's like a ballad.
Oh my God, I
Oh,
hate
a
that
ballad.
cover.
Yes,
Ugh.
and he said, "This is my last resort," and people were like, "Oh, it's so
Oh.
deep." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's like
Fuck
like
that.
he and then Jacoby from Papa Roach, he's like, "Oh my God, you did such great." No, he fucking ruined your song.
It's the best cover I've heard.
Oh, you're so deep, Ronnie Radke.
Steve.
Sponge me with your brass knuckles. Like who? Like you're a bad. Like who the hell has brass knuckles? Like yes, I carry my brass.
It
brass
was a fist
knuckles.
fight, and you're bringing brass knuckles? You bitch. Like, come
Just
on.
use your regular fist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Like, oh, fuck that.
So, but yeah, he's like a conundrum because like
Yeah.
he's like that charming douchebag. Like he's a douchebag, but I don't know why there's something charming about him, like a serial killer, if you will, like or something like that. But yeah, like I've enjoyed some of their songs. I don't think everything is terrible. And obviously, I will listen to it for the Is It That Bad? Actually, that first album, we actually saved it on that episode. None of us, I think, thought it was
Yeah.
that bad. Yeah.
Okay.
I think after that, because that first album sounded more like emo and punk, but after that he put like some rap in stuff and it kind of changed. And so yeah. But I will listen to them for Is It That Bad?
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
fair
and
enough.
on that second album from Falling in Reverse, there's some growl vocals on the song going some of the.
Yeah. It's good to see he actually brings the metal to it.
Yeah.
I've not listened to much of their works. I'm trying to recall them, but I can't.
You need to listen to that Papa Roach.
No, I
cover.
don't. No, I don't think I do.
I'm not listening to that stupid cover.
Last resort. It's like the sound of
And the
silence,
video
but
is AI and so dramatic, and he plays the piano,
Oh.
and he's trying to be all soft. And
no,
yeah,
no,
it's
that's
a
not a
joke.
song. It's like the sound of silence, but that one had a reason for that kind of acoustic approach by Damon Dram or whatever. But not the Papa Roach song. That has no reason to be
No.
an acoustic song.
No,
That
no,
is
no.
meant to be like new metal to the freaking roots. You don't do an acoustic version. It's not
No,
made
you
for
don't.
that. That's stupid. Anyway, I'm not going to listen to that. That sounds dumb. But I think the guy has more ink than brains. On the same kind of note, but I don't see any controversies from him, or any noteworthy ones in the last couple of years. So all of these actions, while being some of them can be pretty fucking bad, also seem to stem from someone who is young and dumb, and I kind of have
Kept it real.
keeping it real dumb. So I kind of have to wonder, is it the actions of a young person who has more testosterone and tattoos than brains, or who has managed to mature or not, and are we judging him for his past actions? I don't think he's changed, but I think he's taken it down a gear, if you will. I don't know much about the musician, but he doesn't feel.
He's no longer trying to hit people with brass knuckles.
Exactly. He left his brass knuckles at home. They're in a safe. Don't worry.
Like every time he goes out of his house, he takes a list. Do not bring brass knuckles.
He had it tattooed on his forearm, but because he remembered it now, it's all tattooed over just to forget his old days.
This is like
His
like
shopping list is in ink.
Just writing stuff like, don't forget and do not bring brass knuckles. Don't shoot people, man. No, it's frowned upon.
Shopping list: bread, milk, brass knuckles. And he writes it with a tattoo gun. He's like, shit. I already got the bread. That's right. I already got the brass knuckles. Oh, no. Look, I've never listened to the guy. I don't know his music. I've heard the controversies. I feel like I've heard Escape the Fate. I feel like they were pretty decent, so I wouldn't hold it against them. Yeah, but I don't have any reason to hold it against them either. Look, maybe I'll listen to them, and the reason that I will hate their music is because it sounds shit. I don't know. But, yeah. Anyway. Well, due to the length of this episode, we are actually going to have to cut it in half. There has been a lot to cover. So, we have a lot more on the second half of this list. But I want to hear your thoughts, because at the end of the day, it's always interesting to hear the comments section. Would you listen to these artists? I would like to thank my panel for this first half of the episode as well. Again, thank you to JC Rock and Metal, of course, Hector from Chill Dude on the Couch, and of course, Robert from Trolling in Paradise. Make sure to go and check out their channels. Links will be in the bio beneath us. But come back for part 2, I should say, of this, because we are going to cover some big name artists like Kid Rock for the next part. So keep an eye out for it. That's a really funny one when we do cover him. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content, because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.